You are now listening to T-on-1 Radio, the talk show podcast station. This is Sistah Talk, and I am your host, Sister Suchandsuch. I'm an open-minded and raw character who says exactly what is on my mind, meanwhile telling the truth about it all. Sistah Talk is news, information, lifestyle, and of course my opinions. And I leave no subject untouched. Now, the information and resources on this podcast are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. This podcast may contain some quotations, images, and/or excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. Welcome to Sistah Talk. Welcome to Sistah Talk. This is your host, Sister Suchandsuch. I just want to let y'all know this particular one, this is for mature audiences only. If you're soft and be in your feelings, you're underage, don't listen. Well, today is part 2 to Wolves in Sheep Clothing. Now, if you didn't catch part 1, go back. I did part 1 last week. But this week we on part 2. I wasn't for sure if I was going to do another one, but more information came out, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So, when it comes to people pretending to be something that they're not, yet they're representing that they are, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And a lot of that is going on these days in the churches. It's been going on, but now there is technology, and so it's just, the proof is in the pudding, rather. So we're going to talk about this, because this needs to be talked about. All right? Preachers, leaders, the pastor, the bishop and his wife and the first lady, and you got prophets and prophetesses and whatnot all in the church house, and then you got the ministry leaders, that's the Sunday school teachers, the Wednesday night Bible study teachers. You got the musicians. It's all sorts of ministries within the church, and within those ministry positions are people. People who tend to sometimes make mistakes because they people. And then you got some that's not necessarily making mistakes, but they doing it on purpose. They serving themselves and not the Lord and hurting people. And so we want to put that out there so people can learn and grow and understand. So, coming out of Toledo, Ohio, you got Pastor Anthony Haynes and the First Lady, Alyssa Haynes. Yeah, and then their daughter is caught all up in the mix of this mess, too. And then you got the Bishop, Cordell Jenkins. These people is catching time. Oh, and I can't leave out the prophet, Kenneth Butler. Yeah, they all just doing the most. So, they getting some time right now. They done got caught up and caught. It's public knowledge now what's been going on in there. So, what's been going on? They've been sex trafficking. The pastor. The first lady knew about it. The daughter knew about it. And they was helping. And not only that, you got them messing with the minors. You leave the babies alone. You're going to hell for the other stuff you're doing already. But you're definitely going to hell for this one, since all these good church folks like to holler, you're going to hell. You're going to hell if you say something. You're going to hell if your skirt too short. You're going to hell if you had a kid out of wedlock. I mean, it's just so much. And they take things to the extreme, but when it comes down to these situations, then they be all protective and whatnot. No, my pastor didn't do that. Yeah, pastor did do that. So, he got sentenced to life. Yeah. Good old Pastor Anthony Haynes. Yes, he got sentenced to life. Now, Bishop Cordell Jenkins, he got a life sentence too. And well, his wife got 1.5 years. Now, Prophet Kenneth Butler, he got 17.5 years. Well, that good old prophet, he went on and confessed. He told it on every damn body. He told what everybody did and what they didn't do, what they said. What time they turned the light off. Yeah, he told it all. He snitched it on all of them. Yeah. So now, I know you're wondering, well, did the first lady get caught up? Yeah. She got 2 years with 1 count of witness tampering. Now, her daughter got 4 years for her count of witness tampering. So, what was they tampering with? The victim, of course. They call themselves going to go over there and try to convince the victim that, well, you need to say that the pastor didn't do this. They sure did. Told that woman to pretty much call the first lady's cell phone and just pretty much recant her statement, saying, no, it didn't never happen. No, I didn't get sex trafficking. That's illegal. That is illegal. That's illegal. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Now, outside of them trying to force this girl to say it didn't happen, and this is while Anthony Haynes, his excuse me, his trial was going on. And that's what really got them in trouble. Because they did this mess while the trial was going on. And you know this girl, as soon as she got away from them, you know she ran to the popos and told it. They trying to make me say it didn't happen when I know it happened. But that goes to show that these are people, and, well, they was wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, also, the good Reverend Pastor Anthony Haynes, the Bishop Cordell Jenkins, as well as the Prophet Kenneth Butler. Now, they all also got convicted of having sex with minors. So they sex trafficking and having sex, and the women that's trying to cover it up, and it's just a hot mess, and that's what the hell is going on in these churches. Not all. No, not all churches. Not all pastors. But it's happening. So now, if this ain't about you or your pastor, then you shouldn't get your church panties in a bunch about this. No, because I'm just relaying the message, letting y'all know what's happened. Now we're gonna go on over to Florida. You know, some crazy ass folks over there in damn Florida. It's always something happening over there. Now, this pastor / prophet, because apparently he wants to be both, Sylvester Ofori, shot and killed his wife at her job. Now, he was the leader of Floodgates of Heaven. Did his blessings not overflow that he had to go and damn his soul to hell and still a life? Now, he was caught on that camera. You know how they got them cameras out all in front of the businesses and whatnot. Yeah, well, she worked at the Federal Credit Union, and that camera caught him. It caught him shooting her, and it also caught him when he stood over her, and he just kept dumping. He just kept shooting. He did it some more. And all this lost because he didn't want a divorce. Now, if you ain't acting right, what makes you think somebody want to stay with you? I don't care if you is supposed to be the pastor. If your ass ain't acting pastoral properly, then I think that's within reason. Because they do say in the Bible, you leave fools alone. And Pastor Prophet Sylvester Ofori was a damn fool. So she was doing right. She didn't deserve all that. She didn't. But that's another one of them wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, also, in Florida. Like I say, they always got some shit going on. Now, we got another pastor, Kenneth Collins, and the First Lady Carolyn Collins, and the sister of the First Lady, Gloria Bias, in hot water. Now, they were all court-appointed guardians over 100 and some incapacitated seniors. That sounds like a good thing. The courts thought it was a good idea, but no, that wasn't no good idea, turns out, because they stole well over $1 million from these incapacitated seniors that they supposed to be caring for. They used a company within the church. They call them shell companies. This just means it's little fake ass companies or whatnot. But they used a company within the church, and that's how they did it. They embezzled over $1 million from these seniors who they supposed to be caring for and taking care of and doing for with these folks' money. It's an embezzlement scheme, and that's not of God. No, these folks done lost their damn mind. That's triple sinning right there. They supposed to be doing what's right, but apparently they're not. They again, serving themselves wolves in sheep's clothing. And these folks here, these wasn't no young preacher and first lady. No, these folks was in their 60s and 70s. Like, your ass ought to know better. You get your ass somewhere and sit down. But you know what? Now they ain't got no choice. They gotta sit down somewhere now. So you can't keep doing dirt and then just think it's gonna stay in the dark, because the light is gonna get shined on that shit. Yeah. Now, let's leave Florida alone for a minute. All right, Florida, all right. We're gonna go over to Fort Worth, Texas. And I'm from Texas, so I gotta do it. I love y'all in Texas. Yes, I do. But I'm going to tell the truth on y'all ass, too, though. Because that's part of the love. Now, this one here, this ain't necessarily about the pastor, but it's about, like I say, some of the leaders of some of these ministries and these churches. The Potter's House. I'm pretty sure by now everybody done heard about what went down now. But if you haven't, here's the Potter's House mega drama. Now, this is pertaining to one of the members. As well, she held a leadership position in one of the ministries. Her name is Audrey Stevenson, who suffers with bipolar disorder. Now, this woman was assaulted trying to leave the church by church security. When the hell did we start needing security in church? That's a damn shame. But she got attacked. Now, I saw this video, y'all, and this video is a damn mess. That poor woman just pleading for them to let her go. She just trying to leave. She ain't want to be part of church no more. She was done. And this is all because they stopped her from being the leader of that particular ministry she was in, where you get up and you do the church announcements and all those good old things. But they stopped her, and well, she wanted to talk with the First Lady and, have a meeting about what's going on to see, if they can solve some issues. Well, some other folks in these other positions didn't want her to quite do that. So, for the video, please go check out Dawson Speaks TV over on YouTube. Hey, Dawson, boy, you keep on speaking, because he be telling that shit about these damn pastors and these people acting up in church and whatnot. Yeah, tell them Sister Such and Such sent you over there. Now, according to a Facebook post, a member of the Potter's House, the Fort Worth campus, by the name of Jasmine Ellis, now she allegedly bullied Stevenson using Stevenson's Facebook about her own shared posting. Now, she posted about her battle with bipolar disorder. And, well, apparently this Jasmine Ellis wanted to pretty much be a bully. And that's not the behavior of the members in church. You're supposed to be supporting each other. You don't use somebody's weakness to bash them with it. That ain't right. And then also, that same security I was telling y'all about, y'all check that video out. Y'all heard his name ring and she keep hollering it out. The security name was Brandon. I don't know what the last name is, but his name was Brandon. And she was hollering, "Brandon, let me go. Why are you doing this? Let me go." He done tried to lock her in a room within the church and then end up slamming her to the floor and putting handcuffs on her. Y'all check this out, because it's the type of shit that's going down in some of these places, and y'all need to know this. Because none of this is godly behavior. And it is insight into what's actually taking place within this mega church. Now, my thing is, I want to know, y'all, if y'all find this out, y'all let me know. Did T.D. Jakes ever make mention of this? Did he speak about this? Seeing as that it was in one of his campuses, it wasn't on the main campus. It happened in Fort Worth. But did he speak on it? Because I ain't found nothing where he spoke about this and said, his piece on the matter. But with him being how he is, he probably done already, him and the wife probably done lawyered up and whatnot, and they was probably told not to talk about it. But this is the mess that's going down. And it ain't cold worth a damn. It ain't. And I think T.D. Jakes in the Potter's House ought to say something about that incident. They need to right that wrong. And this Brandon security fella needs to be arrested. That's my opinion on that. Now, wolves in sheep's clothing. Some people are so brainwashed when it comes to their pastor, bishops, prophets, and prophetesses and whatnot, that they are willing to treat these people as gods. They ain't no damn gods. That's not Bible-based worship or living, and it goes against God's teaching. If you're going to say you live by God, you're a devout Christian, then you're supposed to be living by them scriptures. That's not what's going on, which means some are being led astray with this cult-like mentality and ways in churches, as well as behavior. We cannot allow our children or sisters and brothers in Christ to be hurt by being silent, afraid, or used by these demons. Because everybody that say they of God, that say God called them to be a leader, that don't necessarily mean that shit is true. They just doing the wolves in sheep's clothing. Play the part. Everybody believe it. And you get away with some everything, apparently. From money to molestation to assaults, murders, apparently. And stealing and funneling, embezzlement and whatnot. It's just too much going on. So we got to teach the youth and prepare them so that they may recognize the bad and be strong enough to speak up and defend themselves by being aware. Everyone has cell phones these days. Use them motherfuckers. Shed light on these wolves and protect others. So I want to give y'all a couple tips here. Because, see, I've been in church for years now. My daddy was a preacher. He was a good preacher, though. He was a preacher. And I done been around to plenty of churches throughout the years, and I done seen all types of shit go down. That the good old church people try to keep quiet. They don't want it to hit the news. So, when looking for a church home, what do you do? How do you know? Can you avoid ending up in a church like this? It's possible, but as life goes on, shit happens. So when you're looking for a church home, do your research on the church, the pastors, and any other leaders within that church. You just might be surprised at the backgrounds that you can find and what's on them. Not only that, do an international search. People do move. And also, I know people's always say, you don't listen to rumors. Sometimes them don't be just rumors. Them actually be the truth circulating that people just label rumors so it don't go nowhere. Sometimes rumors aren't just rumors. Check into it and go from there. Everyone who says they were called by God aren't necessarily called by God. Because behavior like this, that's not of God. You might be listening, they might be listening to the devil. You never know what people do. You can't just rely on people talking the talk. They gotta walk that walk too. Be aware, be careful, because there are plenty of wolves in sheep's clothing. Don't be fooled. God gives us all wisdom and whatnot. Use that shit.
And welcome to Eastside Baptist Church. My name is James Jenkins, the 14th. And I'm coming to you live today to tell you that the Lord has been watching you motherfuckers not putting nothing in the contribution box. Sister Jenkins, please point the person out who didn't put nothing in the contribution box today. It's the reason why our toilet in the church is not working.
Hell no.
Because no one has been putting nothing in the box. You got to pay to hear about the Lord nowadays. And he gave me the word to give it to you. You motherfuckers better start putting something in the contribution box so me and Sister Jenkins can continue to ride these on that bitch.
See, that's that shit I be talking about. It is, ain't it?
Damn!
You have been listening to Sistah Talk, brought to you by T-On-1 Radio, the talk show podcast station. I am your host, Sistah Suchandsuch. If it looks and acts like a duck, then it's a fucking duck. Listener's voice. Listeners are encouraged and welcome to call in live at 318-315-3971. Phone calls may be monitored and recorded for quality, safety, and recording purposes. Your continued participation in that telephone call serves as express consent to be monitored or recorded. You can also send in your voice clips. You can inbox the radio station Facebook page as well as email TON, the number 1, RADIOSTATION @gmail.com. That's TON1 radio station @gmail.com. TON Radio, the talk show podcast station, where we're on one, and so are our listeners.